Hola, it's Kai Pacho with the weekly Pele Report on July 22nd, the year 2020. Oh, por Dios. The sun is right now, as I speak, at 6 minutes of Leo. Sun just left Cancer and has gone into Leo. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And the moon is also in Leo, just now going into Virgo. We had that new moon in Cancer, 28 degrees or so. And now she's moving on. She's going to stay in Virgo till like Friday, goes into Libra, and then spends the weekend there in Libra until it gets to Scorpio on Monday. Now, just to think about the change, that used to be a pool. That was a pool. That whole island in the middle there was a big empty. That was the natural swimming pool here, and the rainy season came along, and it's just a real signature. You know, I come down here today, and everything has changed. Mother Nature, forever changing. The big two other things that I really want to talk about today is Mercury squaring Mars. Okay, which is exact on Monday, but it's going on for the rest of the month. And Venus square Neptune, which is also happening on Monday and will be carrying on for the rest of the month. So we've got a few things going on. I'm going to really, this could be a long Pele report. I want to be talking about the whole cycle of things. These are first quarter squares, and that moon is going to come into a first quarter square moon, okay, when it goes into Scorpio. And it's a Venus first quarter square Neptune, and Mercury first quarter square Mars. Mars moving through Aries is a first quarter square to all that Capricorn energy. We've got a lot of first quarter squares going on. I want to explain to you what that means by looking at the camera. Okay, I've been sitting here thinking about what I'm going to say, and I could sit here and think about what I'm going to say all day. But I got to turn on this camera and try to like take it all and like bring it into sense, which is what I really want to talk about with Mercury square Mars. I want to look at the big whole cycle of things, okay? And in astrology, 0 degrees of Aries is considered like the beginning. 0 degrees. And then, okay, you know, let's say a new moon, like we just had, okay, then it comes around 90 degrees. First quarter square, okay, the circle divided by 4, and that is a crisis in action. The seed, the impulse, the new paradigm, the new relationship, the new baby, whatever, you know, is, you know, and then bam, that, you know, let go of the past and express that impulse in towards the future, out into the world. So we've got all this first quarter square, which is like, okay, there's been a lot, you know, growing and building inside the collective unconscious, inside of each one of us, and now it's really wanting to, let's demonstrate, let's blow things up, you know, let's like charge, you know. So yeah, this is what's happening, and then it comes into the full 0 degrees Libra, 180 degrees, like a full moon, okay? And that's the biggest, you know, that's like the rose has fully blossomed, okay? It's just like, it's as big as it gets, you know, illumination. And then it comes around to what we call a third quarter square. It's 90, 90, and 90, 270 degrees. 0 degrees Capricorn in the natural horoscope, okay? And that's the third quarter square. And that has to do more of, okay, so here's your illumination. here's your polarization. Now you need to like listen, hear, integrate the feedback. What goes around comes around, right? So this is called a crisis in consciousness. And then from there, it goes back and wanes, and the close of the cycle is also the birth of a new cycle. The close of the old paradigm is the birth of a new paradigm. I'm going to try to find this picture that I had. It's so beautiful. It's the tree, a fallen tree in the forest with another tree growing out of it, right? You know, or mushrooms or fungi, you know, it's like the old sets the platform, or is the compost that gives, you know, birth to the new. So we're, you know, this new paradigm, it's not coming out of nowhere. We're in a paradigm now. For better or for worse. Better for some, worse for others. God. Anyway, yeah. So what I wanted to say with all of this is that this Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto conjunction is happening in Capricorn, right? This is past the third quarter. It's the ending, closing of old structures, institutions, governments, religions, whatever, you know. It's just like old, solid, dependable, maybe worked for a couple thousand years or a couple thousand months or a couple thousand hours, but, you know, it's established authorities, the ones on top, right? That's the top. And that is in its, you know, it's falling like the tree is falling. And then we've got Chiron and Mars and Uranus and everything down here, you know, Venus, you know, in Gemini, Mercury in Cancer, Sun and Moon. So, you know, we got all this stuff kind of down, you know, down here, getting ready to come out, And then it's gonna, well, what I'm trying to say is it's gonna get more crazy. If you think it can, yes, it will. Whether you think it can or not, that's part of the problem here. Life is a little more than we think. We get surprises, we get unexpected aha moments, and we're in one of those collectively right now because of what? Well, this is what's really super interesting is that Venus was conjunct Neptune at the same time that Mercury was conjunct Mars. And that was back in May. I mean, for the first square. Shit, you know, I blew it. You know, Venus was conjunct Neptune in January, but it came around to square in May. Then she went retrograde, so she's squaring again, repeating that square of May. Yeah, you know, when Floyd got killed and the demonstrations started in Hong Kong. So, you know, this middle of May is the same time. Okay, now Mercury was conjunct Mars. Think of Mercury, Mars. How I put my thoughts into action, right? Mercury thoughts, Mars action. And that can be debate, yelling, you know, the cancel culture, you know, Facebook wars, or, you know, it's just like, you know, Mercury, Mars. You know, I am gonna just like, you know, let out my ideas, my attitudes. I'm gonna communicate my truth. Mercury, Mars. I'm gonna read the conjunction. That was the seed. That was back in last September. It came around and it did its first square in May. Same time. Venus, Neptune is a new dream. You know, a fairy tale, like, yes, you know, nirvana, let's create, you know, heaven on earth. You know, Venus, Neptune, yeah, come on. Peace, lovey-dovey, baby. And then Mercury, Mars at the same time, middle of May. both of these squared, and then Mercury went retrograde, and now Mercury's coming back, repeating what it was kind of saying in May, only now a little more forcefully. Yeah. And like I say, both of these squares are going to continue on through the end of the month. Okay? And Mars is going to continue to move forward. You know, Mercury is slow. Mars is, so they're staying in square. This isn't just a one day, next Monday. Okay? But let me read, the origin, the thoughts, of Mercury conjunct Mars. It was at the 11th degree of Virgo. Here's the seed of Mercury-Mars, okay? In her baby, a mother sees her deep longing for a son answered. The spirit's answer to the vital needs of whatever became individualized out of its infinite ocean of potentialities. So this is Venus, Neptune. They were conjunct in Pisces, in January, right? And this is before the shit hit the fan, and we're all like, yeah, maybe 2019's over. This is going to be something. Yeah. All cycles of manifestation end in an essential duality of success and failure, as every release of new potentiality at the start of a cycle is inevitably polarized in two opposite directions, becoming sharply differentiated at the mystical, in quotes, separation of the sheep and the goat. But out of duality, a new unity eventually is produced. The child, the new God of a new universe, of a new paradigm. I'm just adding that. Subconsciously or consciously, during pregnancy, the mother dreams of the son to be, and the imprint of the dream, in time, is revealed in the boy's structural being. And here's like the key that I want to focus on for the message for today's Pele report. Yeah? Because at this stage, the power to bring one's dreams and ideals to a clear and sharp focus of mental activity or imagination needs to be developed. It is the power of creative visualization, Kriya Shakti, for which a significant word was coined during World War II. Imagineering. A combination of imagination and engineering. Alas, the word was there, but our statesmen failed to incarnate it in deeds. What we've got now is a time of demonstration, of rebellion, of revolution. I mean, I wanted to look back and compare this time to the Civil War in the United States. I want to see what was going on at the beginning of the Civil War, because we have this polarization happening. The new, the young and the old, the Democrat, the Republican, the black and the white, the Me Too and the men. It's like, this is really polarizing. And what this is saying is we polarize into what? Male and female. That what? Give birth to a new baby, to a new paradigm, to a new future. So this polarization is a part. It's like the full moon. This polarization is a part of the cyclical process of evolution that's happening. And what is the good about polarization? You see things that you would not see close up. You know, when we're merged and united and together and on top of each other, you don't really see each other. When you back off, when you separate, when you polarize, it's like, oh, now I see, you know, what is different, what's unique, what's da-da-da-da-da, you know. And then when you come back together, there's more consciousness, right? There's more consciousness, and you can bump up to the next level. Now, the danger of polarizing is violence. The danger of polarizing without empathy, right? Without sympathy, is to, you know, oh, you're so different, and you're so, I see da-da-da-da, I see all your weaknesses and all your faults, and I'm going to shoot you down, and I'm going to da-da-da-da, I'm going to take over, I'm going to conquer. This was the old way of doing it. So the new way of doing it now, okay, is imagineering. Did you see that monarch butterfly? They're all over the place. They are so beautiful. They're huge around here. See if I can, there he is right there. Oh wow, coming right back over my head. Anyway, where was I? I should probably get to the mantra. Okay, yeah. There is inevitable loss following gain, as the waxing full moon will certainly wane. One part of learning is producing the show. The other is listening so as to grow. We're in a time period now, the sun just went into Leo, the moon, new moon, okay, Cancer, Leo. You know, this first quarter square, this is the first part as the moon waxes. Okay, as the sun comes into Leo, creative self-expression. Children, drama, the show, the business, the, you know, whatever. You know, it's like we put ourselves out there. And this is a learning process. And we have to overcome the past, overcome the fear, overcome the, you know, lethargy and laziness or whatever. And that's part of the learning process, is to expand and express. And then after that full moon, then there's the feedback, right? That is, you know, this is, you know, where the Capricorn authorities and, you know, whether it's, you know, Trump or Gates or, you know, World Health or, you know, you personally or your boss or whatever, you know, the authorities now are, you know, in a place of the second half. The crisis in consciousness has to do with listening to the comments, listening to the feedback. You know, you put out a movie and then the critics, you know, give you feedback on your movie. So it's like we all put ourselves out there in one way or another. And the second half of learning, the big growth in consciousness, the big growth in maturity, okay, is listening to what comes back from the audience, from the world, from life, you know. So we, you know, we exhale, here I am. And then we have to inhale, you know, and it's like, okay, you know, is there going to be a fly in there or what? You know what I'm saying? So this is a time where, you know, it's just good to understand that, yeah, there's a lot of energy being put out there. The cancel culture, the block, you know, I just want to say what I'm saying and think what I'm thinking, and, you know, if you don't agree, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's really polarizing. But if we move to a place of maturity, we will be able to listen, to put out what we believe, think, know, want, and then, you know, as elders, we listen, you know, and adapt and grow as a result of, you know, seeing what is needed, wanted, accepted, and what is rejected and not wanted, and, you know, like get lost. Just in time, because it's starting to drizzle. One more time, right? Okay, it is. There is inevitable loss following gain, as the waxing full moon will certainly wane. One part of learning is producing the show. The other is listening so as to grow. May you produce, may you imagineer, produce, and listen. Yeah, baby. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.